Peace be with you, brethren. Today I'm interested in talking about nakedness. What does it mean to say they were naked? So let's just read a little bit. Genesis 3, verse 10. Now let's start at verse 9. And the Lord called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou, Ukai? And he said, I hear thy voice in the garden. I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, Who told thee that thou wast naked? Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest eat not? And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. So I'm interested in the nakedness. How do we perceive nakedness? Is this spiritual? Is nakedness spiritual? Or is it temporal? Is it from the perspective of our eyes, seeing the body without clothes? When they talk about this nakedness, when you try to look it up, what the first thing that you see? But why do we perceive or hear nakedness only after sin? So sin takes away the clothes, or sin expose the nakedness or the lack of clothes in Adam and Eve. So I think perception is what brings us to even be addressing this question. Let me just go a little bit to somewhere else outside the Bible to show what nakedness means. So now we'll read a little bit here so that we grasp the concept. This is the book of remembrance of Enoch, Seth chapter 1 verse 66. Now be it known to all men that as I looked with Urim, I saw Yazgad is Adam, and I saw Kava in the Garden of Eden before they sinned, and they were in the garden after they sinned. Before they left it, they were not naked, for God is not naked. God is not naked. Also, they were not naked. Okay, let's continue. And they were created in his image, and they walked with him, and they were pure and holy with him, and they were clothed upon with righteousness in like manner as God, as is all the concourse of heaven. And the tradition of their nakedness came because they felt bare to stand before him, when they felt anxious to see him again for the shame of their sin. So nakedness is a result of sin. Before they sinned, they were not naked. What did he also say? God is not naked. And this is Adam and Eve are made in the image of God. Therefore, they were also not naked. But nakedness came because of sin. And our perception of nakedness comes from what? Our traditions, our history, the narration of the stories that are passed on from human perspective. Now let's check here. and they were clothed upon with righteousness in like manner as God. So what does it mean? It means before the cloak of righteousness is what God termed as clothes or clothing upon Adam and Eve. So as soon as they sinned, the righteousness, the cloth of righteousness, or as we call it, the armor of God, diaparo tsa bone tsa phemelo, just vanished, because now they had sinned. So it's like before they sinned, they were covered by the light of God. And as soon as they sinned, the light of God moved away from them. So now they were in the shadows. That's why he's coming and he's asking them, if you go back to Genesis, he's saying, he's calling unto them and said unto Adam, where art thou, Ukai? Where are you? And he said, I hear thy voice in the garden. So now, nakedness is the removal of the armor of God, the armor of righteousness. Now you become, when you don't have the armor of righteousness, you become distant from the voice of God, distant from the instructions, because the sin is transgression of the law. You broke the law. You broke the routine that keeps you in the light of God. Therefore, you moved away from light into the shadow and darkness, which is sin. And now, because you moved into a new territory, which you are not used to, now Adam and Eve are what? Afraid. And that's when they realize the light of God is no longer with them. The armor of righteousness is not with them. The cloak or the clothes of righteousness are not covering them anymore. Therefore, they're hiding now because they're anxious. The environment just changed. So, it doesn't mean they didn't have clothes on. It means the light. It's like put you on your church clothes, and all of a sudden, let's just imagine you sin and those clothes just disappear without you taking them off. They are taken off. Or you sin and they can no longer stay in you. So that's nakedness. So nakedness is being desolate of the spirit. So when you're not naked, we are saying you are clothed upon with righteousness and you are in the like manner as God. When you sin, the clothes of righteousness are taken out, but you are not left naked. So what does it mean then when the scriptures say, and God had made clothes for them?